Wait a minute. What?
Leaving so soon?
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 movies you won't believe are rated G.
Mister, you okay?
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're ranking the films that received a G or GP rating at the time of their release, but would likely be slapped with a much stronger rating today. The reasoning behind the ratings could be due to content or the cultural sensibilities of the time, and we're also not passing judgment on the people behind the scenes for these films. Instead, we're just taking a look back at some interesting decisions by the MPAA, while also acknowledging some slices of classic cinema. We will, however, be ignoring films that came out prior to the modern rating system, like The Wizard of Oz.
Which is more than you will. Drat you and your dog. You've been more trouble to me than you're worth, one way and another. But it'll soon be over now.
Number 10. When Dinosaurs Ruled the Earth.
Kaira, Nico, Udala.
Hammer Studios was known for shifting the creative paradigm with their horror films, inserting a controversial amount of blood and jugs into the mix. This tendency carried over into their fantasy and adventure films as well, as evidenced by this 1970 caveman epic. When Dinosaurs Ruled the Earth seemed to pride itself on the tiny costumes adorning its female cast, while the uncut version of the film even included a nude scene from lead actress Victoria Vetri. The 70s may have been a different time, but there's no way a scene like this would be allowed in a G-rated film today. Number 9. The Secret of NIMH.
To answer that, I must tell you about NIMH and our plan. Go.
Children's animated features have always been big business, but the 80s added its own spin to the genre, often incorporating some heavy-duty drama and mature themes into the mix. The Secret of NIMH was one such film, and it does not shy away from some tense violence and the emotional implications such sequences can evoke. Director Don Bluth and company never talked down to their young audience while adapting Robert C. O'Brien's novel for the big screen, making The Secret of NIMH one of the rare children's features to actually contain something for everyone.
Run for your lives, run! It's moving day!
Number 8. True Grit.
Fill your hand, you son of a...
Westerns are always going to be tough for a ratings board, given that almost any film featuring gunplay is going to receive at least a PG rating. The 60s, however, were a different time, as evidenced by this John Wayne classic. True Grit arrived at a time when westerns were becoming more and more violent, emboldened by the burgeoning spaghetti western scene in Italy. Perhaps this explains why True Grit serves as one of the Duke's more violent westerns, exemplified in scenes like the one where a conversation with a pair of shady characters heads south in a shocking and brutal way.
I don't like the way you look, and I don't like the way you're cutting up that turkey.
Number 7. The Andromeda Strain.
Most of them died instantly, but a few had time to go quietly nuts.
Let's find that damn satellite.
Depictions of corpses, animal death, and nudity? Slap a G rating on that and call in the kids. The first of Michael Crichton's novels to be adapted into a film, The Andromeda Strain is dark, tense, and deadly serious in tone, with some apocalyptic repercussions on hand. Beyond this, the film was also released in the permissive early 70s, during a time when violence and sex were not as strictly regulated on screen. As a result, while the movie's presentation of death and nudity isn't born out of sensationalism, it'd be enough to see the film rated differently today.
Hell of a way to run a hospital.
Number 6. Bambi.
Don't look back! Keep running! Keep running!
It's the Disney film that scarred a generation and kickstarted strained conversations about death around the dinner table. It's true that Bambi wasn't the first Disney film to feature controversial content, by a long shot. Yeah, you remember that infamous pink elephant scene in Dumbo, but this doesn't change the fact that the hunting and forest fire sequences of Bambi would at least rate the film a PG in today's world. Regardless, both Bambi and Dumbo remain essential animated viewing for children of all ages. Just have some tissues ready. Number 5. The Last Unicorn.
Can you truly set me free?
The Last Unicorn was a triumph for animation icons Rankin Bass. Yet, just like with The Secret of NIMH, there's also plenty of dark content here that belies the film's G rating. For starters, there's the Mommy Fortuna character, who is torn to pieces by a harpy early on in the film. Then there's also the business of one peculiar tree that's turned into a woman with giant breasts who attempts to smother the young magician Schmendrick. The Last Unicorn is a children's film with lofty ideals and a great respect for its audience, even if it really ought to have been rated PG.
Shut up, you pretentious kneecap! How'd you like a punch in the eye?
Splendid. You made it laugh anyway.
Number 4, The Adventures of Mark Twain.
Good God, what a swindle.
This film may be a bit niche, but don't let that fool you. The Adventures of Mark Twain is a G-rated hidden gem. That rating would definitely be tweaked by today's standards, however, as there are several dark scenes in this claymation classic that still haunt fans today. The character of Injun Joe certainly terrifies Tom Sawyer, Huck Finn, and Becky Thatcher. But that's nothing compared to the mysterious stranger sequence, wherein Lucifer, yes, that one, shows the kids how to create an entire civilization before mercilessly demolishing their world. Try and watch this one without a shiver running down your back.
Never mind them. People are of no value.
Number 3, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
You lose! Good day, sir!
It's a timeless classic, but it also feels like an acid-fueled commerce and morality play. Creatively, it fires on all cylinders. But those pistons are sparked by scenes of apparent child murder, bizarre depictions of little people, as well as that crazy-ass boat ride. This scene is instantly memorable for all the right and wrong reasons, as Gene Wilder's Wonka turns into a howling psychopath, aided by a barrage of psychedelic lights and sounds. For this scene alone, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory would have lost its G rating quick if released today.
Wonka, this has gone far enough! Quite right, sir! Stop the boat!
We're there.
Where?
Here.
Number 2, 2001, A Space Odyssey.
I'm afraid I can't do that.
What's the problem?
I think you know what the problem is just as well as I do.
What are you talking about, Hal?
We've covered plenty of films thus far whose G ratings would likely have been nixed due to questionable content or themes. And here's where 2001: A Space Odyssey changes things up a bit. Stanley Kubrick's sci-fi masterpiece raises so many mature questions about life, death, evolution, and time that its mere heady existence practically begs for a PG or PG-13 rating. Sure, there are scenes of death and violence here in 2001, but the real heavy themes here are on an intellectual level. A psychedelic head trip designed to be viewed, studied, and discussed by adults for years to come. Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
You can never come.
There you are! I found ya. Gotta move you guys out of the way.
Number 1, Planet of the Apes.
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
Let's forget for a moment that the iconic OG Planet of the Apes just so happens to feature nudity, sexuality, dramatic themes, and a surprising amount of violent action for a G-rated movie. There are also the horrific implications from the film's ending, a twist that certainly shocked audiences in 1968. But should those audiences have included kids? It's tough to say. Standards were certainly different in the late 60s, and the Apes films blew up in popularity with kids through the 70s. But still, the fact that Planet of the Apes got away with a damn dirty G rating is utterly mind-blowing.
God damn you all to hell!
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.